Okay.
Okay, so, all right. Good morning to our guests and to our two amazing panelists over here. First of all, I will introduce myself. My name is Luqman. To my right side, the first panelist is Danial, and to my left side, our second panelist, Muiz. So the topic that we are going to talk about is the influence of rapid AI advancement on education and readiness and challenges faced by Malaysian student teachers. So first, I will explain that AI is already a big part of our life. AI is rapid advancement is so fast that every day we got a news about a new way to use AI. And also as a student also use AI for our assignment and our project. So let's go through the question. The first question is, do you think Malaysian is ready to implement AI in education? We start with Daniel.
Thank you for having me today, Mr. Luqman. Regarding the question, you think we're ready? My personal opinion is we are not quite sufficient towards integrating our education system towards AI just yet. I simply think like that because unfortunately due to our statistics, world statistics, our education level is not subpar or even on par with the Western system, or even such as Central Asia system, such as the Chinese or Japanese education level. So if we try to integrate AI towards our system, I think it is too early to progress towards that, considering how our consciousness towards the current youth, the current students in terms of education now. So simple to say, they're not ready because they haven't progressed, they haven't learned in ways to that part of intelligent conscious. So if we try to afflict our Malaysian's education system towards AI, like how the Western did, or how the Northern Asians did, the Japanese and Chinese, we will suffer from lack of instructions, lack of common sense, lack of directive, because we haven't had the proper ways to navigate ourselves through AI in education, due looking at our education system. So students will be over reliant, and students will simply progress back instead of forward if we use AI in education system.
Alright, amazing answer from you. So basically, I will summarize your answer. So basically, you said we are not ready for the AI in our education because we are not, like you said, we are not like China or Japan. You have they are ready because their students know what they do, but while our students are still relying on AI. That was basically what you said, right?
Yes, and to continue that, basically, specifically, our education system is 6 years behind the Western education system. And to make it worse, to make it even look like the gap towards compared to the Japanese and Chinese education system, we are 8 years behind. So we need to catch up to them before we try to integrate the AI system towards our education. Because what I'm seeing right now, the way that we use AI, the way that students are using AI in Malaysia compared to other more advanced countries, it is very different. Like we use it for the simplest instructions, simplest tasks, while the other advanced countries such as Germany or Japan, they use it to solve complex problems and to help them make their research even advanced. So it's very, very different from what we do and what they do. So it's not very beneficial for us to integrate the AI system towards our younglings in the education systems just yet. Maybe in the future we can, but not now.
Thank you, Daniel. Muiz, do you think Malaysia is ready to implement AI in our education?
Very good morning, everyone. So I would like to agree with Daniel, what he just said. We also would need to take in consideration the lack of training of our teachers in schools regarding the usage of AI, and we also have the lack of technology to use it in the schools. For example, in the rural area, where most of the materials that they use are very traditional. Some of them lack computers, some of them lack the LCDs, so everything regarding the 21st century teaching when using AI, all that, they do not have the capacity to use the AI technology, and the teachers are unable to be trained because of the lack of materials. This also can be considered from the government decision making, where the lack of their focus on the education system in our country, where they do not have enough funding to give to the schools in the rural area to develop, and they do not have the training program for the teachers in the schools to train them on using those AI. So I very agree with what Daniel said. We don't have to look at the West or even the Eastern Asia, like Japan or China. We can also look on our neighboring country, for example, like Thailand or maybe Singapore. Singapore is a great example where their education is more advanced than us. Maybe not as advanced as the West or China, but they are more advanced than us in terms of education and usage of AI. And that's what I think about what the statement that Daniel has given.
Alright, so basically you're saying Malaysia is lack necessary technologies to implement AI in our education system. Alright, that's good. Let's move on to the next question. Do you think Malaysian student teachers lean more toward Western or Eastern thinking when using AI, and why? First of all, I will explaining what is Western and Eastern thinking. Western thinking is all about caution and individual rights. That means their individualism. While Eastern is more to integration and collective progress. Another name is collectivism, and it has different cultural value in both thinking. So we start with Muiz first. What do you think?
Alright, so regarding whether our country is more on the Eastern or Western thinking, so I would first talk about what is the Eastern thinking is like. It's more on integration and collective progress. Eastern cultures often rooted in collectivism and pragmatic approach to technology tend to view AI as a tool for enhancing societal and economic welfare. And there is a higher rate of AI acceptance and integration into national education systems. For example, countries like China and India are developing large-scale tiered AI curricula for K-12 students. It is aimed to build AI literacy and create future creators of technology. AI is also widely used by students and leaders in the East, for example, like China, to enhance efficiency, automate tasks, and access information with a strong belief in benefits for personal and national growth. And that's what I see. I have done the research. And regarding whether Malaysia is Eastern or Western thinking, I would say we have not reached the level of thinking of the Eastern, but we are on the right path on going to the Eastern way of thinking. That is my opinion.
Alright. So you think Malaysia lean more, we're close to lean more to Eastern thinking.
Even though we have not reached that level yet, but we are on the right path on going to that level of thinking.
Alright, great answer. It's actually interesting answer actually. Thank you for giving your opinion. So we move on to Daniel.
Yes, thank you. What Luqman summarized was true, and I'd like to continue on Muiz's point. He's right. The Malaysians are leaning towards the Eastern thinking, and in such a way, collectivism is actually very beneficial towards our system, towards our government. But I'll explain to you what Western thinking is and how it can actually raise concerns and could be somewhat exemplified, though not fully, towards our system. So we can integrate the best of both worlds, not just what's good for Eastern, but also what's there on the West. So what is Western thinking? It derives more to caution and individual rights, what they've been practicing for, I think, for the past few centuries. So in Western cultures, it's characterized by individualism and a focus on personal autonomy, often approach AI in education with more skepticism and caution. As I've been saying earlier, they are very skeptical towards AI. And they focus on individualism. So what about skepticism in the West? Well, they're very hesitant towards using it or integrating it towards the education system because their system, the level that they are in terms of research and consciousness and in terms of knowledge, they're already there, basically. They are where they need to be. They are good. They can research on their own without relying on AI. They don't have anything more to catch up, so they're progressing steady towards academics. So with AI's appearance, it is much more likely to be a hassle and trouble towards affecting and corrupting the future youth, the future learners and researchers, whoever they may be, doctors, scientists, whoever they are, philosophers. So in the terms of AI, it actually has the chance to make them worse instead of better. Because AI is good, it helps you, it assists you, but at the same time, it's making you reliant towards it. Whenever you don't have the answer, you ask AI. Whenever you have questions for, you ask AI. That is not good. That avoids you from having a critical moment of thinking and processing in your brain. So that's why they're very questioning towards whether they want to integrate AI or not, and they're in a very experimental stage where they're trying little by little putting AI into their school districts. But that's to say about their education system and AI integration. And another concern is the emphasis on ethics and privacy. Because AI is learning from humans, it's constantly collecting data towards its data centers and processing there, collecting anything that might be useful for it. They're very concerned towards that, and it might steal your information or collect your information unconsciously without your consent or your permission. So the rights, the individual rights, the data privacy and the transparency, that right there is very shady. We're in the gray area of that when it comes to AI. So the West is very much pushing towards the data privacy and ethics towards using AI data, collecting data. So the third point I want to push with the West is the role of educator. They're concerned AI might replace them, but in my opinion, AI is not really there to replace or anything. Because at the end of the day, yes, AI can give you whatever you need, but the human touch towards teaching is still there. AI cannot replace that. AI learns from humans, but at the end of the day, it's still a robot, it's still a computer processing, only following orders or prompts, instructions, whatnot. And institutional policies, well, I already said earlier from the skepticism, they're trying to base it off their guidelines and policies towards integrating AI. And it's the point of discussion. All academic institutions are discussing towards where we're going with AI in terms of the Western world. That is to say about that.
I would like to add on your point, which is regarding the ethics. I've actually read an article that has said they have found out that the AI that they use, for example, like ChatGPT, has fragmented an article which is, we can say, a fake article to use as a reference, which is very concerning in an academic sense, because most of our students would be using ChatGPT to find references for the research, because it is easy for us to access. So when this thing is found out, it makes us question, is the integrity of our education safe from this kind of problem? So yeah, I agree with what Danial said regarding the ethics.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. So what you're saying is that if in Western thinking perspective, we should be cautious about AI because it's maybe hindered or gonna put our children in not a safe place, I would say, because their critical thinking maybe become low and they become unmotivated to do their work. Is that what you're trying to say, right?
Yes, AI has a potential risk of affecting our future use education. They might not learn as how we learn, where we do everything by ourselves, which is good, automated learning, but it's making them, everything's being handed to them, making them incapable of reaching for everything, including learning themselves. That is a sin.
And we also tell about our integrity safety, and it's a good point and a good answer. Thank you for giving us that information, which we have researched on. So let's go to our next question. KSSM encourage higher order thinking skills, or we got the short is HOTS. Does it reduce their critical thinking skills?
Can you repeat the question again?
Alright.
Sorry.
No problem. KSSM encourage higher order thinking skills, HOTS. Does it reduce their critical thinking skills? And the question is trying to say is, does AI reduce our student critical thinking skills?
When it comes to HOTS, I'll answer that one first. In our education system, there are HOTS question in exams and whatnot. Well, HOTS, it is actually encouraging us to critically think, but sometimes they want us to think in a way that is very critical, but at the same time, very patented, like the answer is already there. So basically, instead of engaging towards HOTS question, we should just focus on creative questions. Questions that make us answer creatively or come up with our own. And when it comes to AI, yes, it is not engaging towards critical thinking simply because, well, everything is already there. Whatever you tell the AI, whatever you ask the AI, whatever you use by the AI, it's already existed. They already have it for you. I mean, people say that AI is smarter. No, we are smarter because AI is absorbing from us. But if we use AI, it's making us just like what it is, just like what AI is, which is already only following orders, only doing what we're told, only having what we're given. So AI is not making us to critically think.
I agree with the statement that Daniel has said. The HOTS in the KSSM doesn't, it's not a problem. The problem is the way we implement it. For example, the teachers sometimes give HOTS questions that are just difficult questions and not real thinking tasks. So that's why the way the teachers implement this type of HOTS question needs to be changed. For example, maybe try asking the students, giving them questions that require solving in real life situation problems. That will probably help students to have a better creative and critical thinking. That's what my opinion regarding this matter.
Okay. Right. Both of you are giving the information that actually interests us. And to summarize all of it, AI is a very great tools for students and to use in their work, but also it's come with trouble. Also, it's come with a bad side of it. It can make students over rely on it. It can make students stop thinking critically, and it's become a challenge for students in Malaysia and maybe around the world also. So we should tackle this kind of issue with great cautious and also teach our younger generation how to use AI with integrity, with ethic that can help them advance with the AI advancement. So that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you very much for inviting us to this forum. We would like to come.
All right, thank you for
Thank you for having me.
It's nice meeting you.
And it's not discussing.
We will in the